So my niche on this channel always has been consistent with, relationships and toxic relationships and all that. And so I wanted to touch on something that's kind of moving away from the niche of narcissism. And, you know, and we all go through these breakups, right? At one point in our lives, heartbreaks and everything. But what I do gotta say is that, getting over our heartbreak is not easy at all, you know. And especially, let's say that you're actually dealing with someone that was actually healthy, emotionally, but for one reason or another, things just didn't work out. It could have been your time schedules, it could have been, they had kids, or the kids, got in the way of the schedule where they were priority, and now, there's like really no time for each other, where to the point they kind of lost touch with each other, and kind of moved away from each other. Like there's a form of distance, and sometimes, things don't work out where you just feel like roommates, or someone cheated. There's many reasons why relationships don't work out. Relationships are more complex than you think. There's a lot of sacrifice that you have to do, a lot of you know me time that you have to put aside, or you time, put it that way. And so, yes, it's very difficult to maintain a relationship. It is work. It's a lot of work, and I'd be lying if I said that it's not work. It's gonna take a lot of sacrificing, and you do it because you love that person, okay? But what I tell a lot of people, like after a breakup, and they know it, there's like no going back. And the best way to go about it is to really just cherish those moments where you did have very good. All right. And this, I'm talking about someone who's actually emotionally healthy, and, a lot of people would be like, I want to rip the pictures, I don't want to keep them. I don't want to remember them. No, hold on. Those are part of your history. Like that's crazy talk to me sometimes, because that's part of your history. You at that point, in that moment of time, in that picture, you cared about them. If you're not ready to look at them, put them away. But keep them as part of your history, And it drives me nuts when people say that, get rid of all your photos on your phone and everything and delete it. No, just put them away. There's settings for that, where you don't have to see them. You can hide them in your phone, and when you're ready to look at them, you're healed, and if you can smile on the good times back then you healed, and you move on, and you have a chance of loving again. Just make sure that you put in the work, make sure that you had that extra time off. Don't jump from one relationship into another so you can bury the pain. It doesn't work that way, because for one thing, you're going to transfer all your baggage onto the next relationship. And like I've always said, no one in a new relationship wants to hear your baggage at first, like trust and bonding, vulnerability, all those things come within time. And so you have to be ready, put in that work to treat yourself right too. If you can spend a good amount of time by yourself, that's how you're in a good spot, a good place. And a lot of people don't want to do that homework, And so it is very important. It is vital that you take the time to be on your own. And also to just make sure that you healed, the things that trigger you. Don't get me wrong. There's always going to be certain things that trigger you, because you're transferring, that past, onto the current moment, which is kind of normal. That's why there's like things like, PTSD, CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And, those things stick with you for a long time, especially if you've been through like abuse, trauma, and stuff like that. Sometimes you think the next person's going to be the same way, but no, you got to give them a chance, And at first, that's why it's always important. You have to really take your time when you first get into a new, fresh relationship. Take your time to get to know each other, okay? When it starts transitioning to like, all right, like let me know about your vulnerabilities, let me know about your weaknesses. You have to be careful. You have to be guarded, and all those things you can feel it when you can trust, to be vulnerable. And that comes within time. And so it is possible to love after another heartache, but you have to heal through the heartache first and then move on, when you're ready. And you'll be ready to date, and it'll be a higher chance of a successful relationship, and you'll enjoy more of the good moments.